good, YouTube? Today we'll be doing chest today. It's going to be a mass building based workout. So for those of you guys who want a big chest, or like who have just started gym and are looking for some information on how to grow a bigger chest, get stronger, figure out what exercises and angles to hit, this is a video for you. So yeah, I'll be giving you tips and tricks that have personally worked for me. So yeah, stay tuned for that and look forward to the rest of the video. So as you can see, we first warmed up. I warmed up the rotator cuffs first. As you may or may not know, the rotator cuffs are one of the easiest muscles or body parts to injure, especially when doing a lot of heavy pressing, chest pressing or shoulder presses. So every time I start off with a shoulder day or a chest day, I always warm up the rotator cuff first, and also to get a lot of blood flow in there. We also warmed up with the rear delts and upper back and traps. Reason being, I feel that when they're warmed up and there's a lot of blood flow there, when it comes to the first exercise being the bench press, as you'll see in a second, like they really help with stabilizing the upper body in order to help with the pressing portion of the movement. So yeah, warm-ups really important. Don't be that person who comes into the gym and just comes in straight away and jumps first set heavy into your exercise. Like, it's always better to stay safe than sorry, in my opinion. So as you can see, we're starting off chest workout with the bench press today. I always start off with, believe it or not, the bar. Like, it sounds so obvious, but I've seen many people come in the gym and just straight up load up the bar with like 100 kilos and just start pressing straight away. And to me, that's not safe and it doesn't really make sense. So yeah, I normally start with the bar, warm my way up, get the body pattern movement and the tempo and the rep and the form, everything subconsciously ready, just so when I get to my first heavy working set, it's second nature and I only have to focus on the pressing portion, or you can say the strength portion. So we've worked our way up now into the bench. As you can see, we've got 3 plates on the bar now. So
yeah, I didn't even need to do that, did I?
No, you didn't. We've got 3 plates on the bar now, but as you can see, we're starting to get heavy now. So my first working set is actually going to be 160 kg. We've got 3 plates on the bar. I'll normally warm up in small increments, but my reps will start off relatively high. So like even with the bar, I might do like 15-20 reps. 60 kg, I might do 15 reps. And as we go up, I lower the reps now. So even on this now, even though we're heavy, I'll still only do like 1 or 2 reps, because now my body's actually warm. Mentally, I'm primed, I'm ready as well. And I want to save all my energy for the top set. So yeah, that's just my warm-up protocol when it comes to warming up on the first exercise. Bear in mind, I only do this when it's the first exercise. As you'll see later on in this video, once we get this movement out the way, the bench press, when we go on to other exercises, I'll already be warm, so I'll only probably need 1 warm-up and then I'll jump straight into it. But in this case, for the first exercise, this is the way I approach it. So as you can see, as I was saying, conserving energy, that was my last warm-up set. So the next set will be 160, which will be my actual proper set. And just reiterating what I was saying earlier on, like, now I'm actually warm, like mentally I'm primed, I'm focused I'm ready for what's to come, which is going to be my first working set. first working set on the bench. As you can see, I like to hit the relatively low rep ranges, but still working, so I won't go any lower than like 5. So on the compound like this, such as bench, I like to hit between that 6 to 8 rep range, because obviously it's a compound exercise, you want to get the most out of it. As you can see, I do utilise a little bit of spot at the end, because I like working in that region of the rep where like it's not, some people will call it cheat reps, but for me in my head it's forced reps, because it's pushing the threshold of my muscles to work a lot harder when it's at the point of giving up. So like, I feel like them extra force reps at the end where I got a spot really do make a big difference in terms of ripping more muscle fibers, as well as obviously building more strength. But that's my first working set. I'll probably hit that again, aim for around the 6 to 8 rep range again, and then for the third and fourth set I'll usually change the rep range a bit and go a little bit higher. So now we're moving on to incline bench press. We've got the bench press out of the way, the first compound, so this is the second compound now. And in my opinion, these two exercises, the bench and the incline, have been my staple for around literally since I started. And because they're such staple, strong compound exercises for me, I feel that if you get really good and strong at those movements, like these two movements along with the fly, should make some great development for your chest in terms of not only size but strength as well, which will also translate to like your other forms of strength like pressing, etc. So yeah, we'll move on to incline dumbbells now. As you can see, we're already warm from the bench press, so I'll literally do like one warm up set, and then literally just jump straight into my first working set. The incline dumbbell press works mainly the upper portion of your chest, which is that bit here, and the bench press, I'd say in my opinion, it works the overall chest, like particularly, to be honest, the middle portion and your lower portion. But with this next exercise, the incline dumbbells, you'll find that this is a great development that I can attest to for building that thick upper chest, which is what I believe most people lack when it comes to that area of the chest. So if you could really master this movement and progress on it, you'll make some great developments on your upper chest. Main pointers for this exercise, along with all the other exercises when it comes to working with the chest, is at the beginning of the movement, just before you press, I'd suggest retracting your scapula. You can do this by lifting your shoulders up and then squeezing your scapula together. What this does is it also aids with injury prevention, and it's also great for isolating the chest to make sure that it does majority of the work, as opposed to putting a lot of strain and maybe leading to injuries to like areas such as your shoulders and your elbows. But also to add, with this exercise, the rep range is kind of similar to the bench press, as it's a compound movement. So I normally like to start with like the 6 to 8 rep range, and then as the sets go on, work my way up in terms of rep when it comes to this exercise. So we're into the third exercise now. This exercise is called the decline machine press. Muscles targeted in the chest is the lower portion, so that bit here. But obviously the stretch emphasizes the outer portion of the chest as well, which I largely attribute my development there to this specific exercise over here. So yeah, same points as with the other exercise, retracted scapula. But with this one, although it's kind of still a compound, emphasize more on the stretch portion to get as much tension work out of the muscle. Like now we've done the heavy lifting and the heavy compounds out of the way. Now it's time to like still pushing that aspect, but let's get some work done now, some blood flow into the muscle, and let's keep the time under tension there and get some force reps at the end as well. Keep in mind that when you're training chest, that the surface area of your chest is quite large, as opposed to smaller muscles like your shoulders, your biceps and your triceps. So your chest can take that pounding, and it can take that extra work. Like, if I was being completely honest, like I think the large majority of my chest development and strength development in regards to chest has come to like I don't want to say heavy, but working in the rep ranges in the compounds of like the 6 to 8, and like really pushing the efforts in those exercises and in those areas, because I feel like chest is one of those muscle parts that like you can kind of just come in and like, although you can move heavy weight, which is good, but also be mindful to build a solid mind-muscle connection. As I found out that anyone really with a good muscle part, or when developing a muscle part, it's important to have a strong mind-muscle connection, as you can get more work around that area, the more awareness you have around that muscle area, if that makes sense. So fourth exercise for this chest mass workout is cable flies, and even though this is a quote-unquote a isolation exercise, like it's really great for the development of your chest. One reason being for you can get a really good stretch on this exercise that you don't really get on the presses. That really causes a lot of time under tensions for all the muscle fibers, starting from the inside of your chest to the outside of your chest. So yeah, it's a great exercise for that. Secondly, also is you can get a really good mind-muscle connection on it. since it's just an isolation exercise, meaning that you can get a lot of blood flow into the muscles, and if you're also like well prepared before you come to the gym in terms of having your meals, your water and your nutrients, like all of those are going to play to your big advantage when you get to this portion of your workout where your muscles are really like working and are in need of them nutrients and the blood flow, which just makes your development for whatever muscle you're working for that day a lot easier. So pointers for this movement are pretty much the same as what they've been for the other exercises. Retracting your scapula, bringing your shoulders up, pinching your back to make sure your scapulas are nice and retracted. As they're retracted, literally just focus on the mind-muscle connection and perfect form on this. We've done all the heavy compounds and all the quote-unquote strength stuff. Now it's time to really just focus on the isolation and get as much blood flow into that muscle and just get a huge pump and work those muscle fibers to failure. This last exercise now for chest is a low cable fly variation. This particular exercise hits the upper portion of the chest, so as you can see, adds to the emphasis of thickening up the upper chest. Because we've hit all the major heads throughout the beginning and middle portion of the workout, this is a great finisher to end on. Again, similar to the normal fly variation, the emphasis is not about how much weight you can shift or trying to test your strength on it. For me personally, it's always worked as a volume one, so the reps will be a lot higher, meaning they'll go up to like 12, 15, sometimes even 20 reps, getting as much blood flow in there and just really working at those last final reps of the movement where your upper chest fibers are literally on fire and you can feel them ripping. So that's the main points for this exercise. So guys, that's the chest workout complete now. I've literally showed you everything that I do and have done for literally since I started training. So it's all the exercises there, all the number of sets and reps, and all the pointers that are needed to benefit you with the development of your chest workouts. So yeah, remember guys that when it comes to developing your muscles in your chest, and just in general, remember that intensity and intention is key. Like you've got to give your muscles a reason to grow. Do you know what I mean? If you've been doing the same thing or stuck on the same number year on, year out, and you haven't seen any difference, then there's your clue. I believe in that to get to the next level and to keep developing in terms of increasing size and strength, like you have to give your muscles and your body, your workouts 100% effort. You have to give them a reason to grow, otherwise the body's very clever. It does this thing where it just adapts to the same things here on out. Even though I've kind of got to, I'd say, a decent level, like even I know I have to bear in mind that to push myself further, to gain more size, to gain more strength, like there has to be 100% effort, consistent over time, all the time, to keep making improvements. But yeah, if you enjoy this type of video, please let me know in the comments below. Let me know what type of content you want to see next. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time on the next video.